in the gospel, we find the account, in three of the gospels, we find this account of Jesus telling the disciples to go out, and there's the miraculous catch of fish. We know about that, right? Now, so because of that, we've heard it, I'm sure, many, many times at Mass, and perhaps read it in our own time of prayer and such. And so we have an idea of what that means. And generally speaking, most people think it's about fishing for men, women, and children, right? Most people think that whole account is about that. It's about fishing. It's about, what's the other term that we would use? The evangelization. In the account, there are at least two very significant things that go on. One is putting out into the deep. The other part is letting down your nets for a catch. So letting down your nets corresponds loosely to what Jesus said, right? I will make you fishers of men. So you'd be fishing souls. But they didn't just drop the net on the beach, right? They had to put out into deep waters. It was there that the Lord told them to put down their nets. Try and imagine what was going on there. So Peter and his buddies are out all night. All night. They have nothing. They come back. They're tired. They're probably discouraged, disheartened. And Jesus appears. Who is this guy? I don't know. There's a crowd with him. And yeah, sure, okay, take the boat. Yeah, he preaches. So Peter hears Jesus preach for the first time. And then, after that, Jesus tells him, Peter, put out into deep waters and let down your nets. Now, Peter grew up as a fisherman, right? That's his life. That's his trade. He knows his business. He knows the lake. And they've been out all night. So I'm not quite sure. It's hard to tell, right, when you read the accounts, just what kind of inflection was going on. What kind of feelings were going on when Peter said what he said? Like, was he frustrated? Lord, we went out all night. What do you mean, go out? We went out all night. There's no fish. Was that the movement? Was it something else? Like, I was picturing this morning as I was praying about this, Peter going to the Lord and saying, Lord, listen, we were out all night. There's no fish. Trust me, there's no fish. There's no point. And Jesus saying, Peter, put out into deep waters. I'll show you fish. You think there's no fish? I'll show you fish. Right? The point is, at the natural level, there's this, come on, we tried that. I'm tired. I don't want to do that. It doesn't make sense. Right? It doesn't make sense to his mind. So that's a natural response. Yet, then he makes what? A response of faith. The Gospels read, but because you say so, at your word, some translations, at your word, I will do it. Because you're telling me to do this? Okay, all right. So he makes an act of faith. He goes out into deep waters. Then they put down the nets, and they have this huge haul.